So this is what's called a Brita filter. When you're first starting off with drinking water and your water hobby, you can drink tap water. It's going to be just fine. There's no problem to it. It'll kind of get your feet wet, in such a way that you can taste it, see if it's for you, before you start investing and putting money into stuff like this. This is what's called a Brita filter. You can find this at any Target, Walmart, Walgreens even, I'm sure, pharmacy. I believe this one was about $29.99. It comes with interchangeable filters and stuff, depending on what you want to filter out. So let's jump right in, enough talking. So right here I have my glass of water. This is actually a plastic cup. You really don't want to drink water without having a cup. You could put it in your hands, like make a bowl with your hands, but generally you're going to lose a lot of water. You're going to lose some yield through the gaps in your fingers. So I highly recommend investing in a cup. It doesn't have to be transparent like mine. I just chose a transparent one just to show you folks what it looks like, to just show you that there's no funny business going on. I am drinking water. This is how you do it. But you can definitely choose any other color. You can choose any kind of really any kind of material. It doesn't have to be plastic. It can be glass, ceramic, anything you like. There are mugs. You could use mugs. Mugs aren't just for coffee. You can use it for water and other beverages as well. So let's jump right in. We're going to take one sip. When you're first drinking water, you don't want to drink a lot. You don't want to take multiple gulps at once. There is a chance that it will go down the wrong pipe, and you don't want that. It's not a big deal if it does. It happens to everybody. Happens to me even sometimes. But all that really happens is you just cough it up, and all is well. So let's have a sip. See what we think. I'm gonna try to explain the whole concept of swallowing water. It is kind of abstract, so I'm gonna really try my best, but it is kind of nuanced, and you do kind of need to get a feel for it yourself. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take in a small amount of water into my mouth. I'm going to try to push all of the air out and isolate it with my tongue against the roof of my mouth. I'm then going to pull my tongue back to shift the water more towards my throat. And once the water gets to your throat, your muscles kind of take over and swallow automatically. But you do engage the muscles in your throat, and it pushes it all down. When you're taking your first sip, don't take too big of a sip. It is painful sometimes if you take a really, really big sip of water, just because your esophagus does have to stretch a little bit, and it's not pleasant. And really, water should be a pleasant activity. It is a hobby of mine, and I think that new hobbyists should really take this slow. So I'll just show you. I'll do a demonstration. So I'll just take a small amount of water. It's in my mouth right now. So I'm going to take it and push it against the roof of my mouth. I'm going to try not to spit it. Okay. So trying to explain it with water in your mouth is a little bit awkward, but we got to do what we got to do. So I hope you saw that. I'm going to get up close to really show you a good representation of what drinking water is like. It is pleasant. This is good water. The Brita filter really does filter out a lot of impurities and a lot of off flavors from my tap water here in Los Angeles. So I'll show you again. Try to do it up close. In my mouth. And there it goes. And it goes down. All right. So you may notice that when you're running, you start to get this dry feeling in your mouth and throat. That just means that that it's a common thing with runners and a lot of athletes that they do experience that. A lot of people will go for like a Gatorade or a Propel, but good old-fashioned water is how they did it back in the old days, and I think that that's something that we should bring back because it is a pleasant activity. And there are many different types of water out there. There is spring water. There is water made in a lab like Smart Water, which doesn't necessarily come from any place in the ground, but it is filtered, and I believe that they actually heat up the water in such a way that it turns into a vapor, and then they collect the vapor as part of their purification process. A lot of misconceptions that I hear about water is that it can be drunk in any form. That's not true. Definitely learn from my mistakes. If you boil water, it does turn into a gas, and that gas is really hot and not very easy to drink. It's hard to collect too. It's really inconvenient, so I would just stay away from drinking water vapor. On the flip side of that, there is, if you leave water in a really cold area, it will solidify and become what is known as ice. Ice is wonderful if you turn it into cubes and put it into actual liquid formed water. It's kind of used as a mechanism to keep the water cool. Water is known to taste better and be more satisfying when it is in a cooler state. Hot water is good too. A lot of people in Asian countries like to drink hot water. I'm sure you've heard of tea. People like to put leaves into the water, and it kind of adds different nuances and different earthy flavors. People add sugar and milk to it. It's not really my thing. I'm more of a coffee guy, but good old-fashioned water does me just fine as well. So before I end the video, I'm gonna demonstrate it one more time. So I'm going to drink one more time for you. Just like that, super good, really delicious. And if you become more proficient with drinking water, if you drink a lot of water, you can just keep gulping. You can keep going, it's okay. Definitely take it slow though. You don't wanna get too ahead of yourself. But yeah, I'll show you how to do that. And you may be thinking, how do you breathe during that? And that's a good question. When I first started out and I was taking multiple gulps at once, once I was done, I had to take in a big breath of air because I wasn't breathing. But if you practice and get the technique down, in between gulps, it is possible to take a breath of air through your nose. That's how a lot of people there's a lot of competitions for chugging water. But we're getting pretty far in there. If you guys have any questions about the water hobby and advanced methods of drinking water, definitely leave a comment. Subscribe, like, share. Thank you for watching. This has been Essential How To. Hope you have a good day.